Happening.
What's up?
So, my name is Keaton,
I'm Vic.
and this is Real Talk.
Man talk.
Hey, don't call it a
Sorry.
comeback, shawty.
Hey, I'm so sorry for the delay. Father hell, I'm so sorry.
Look, man,
But
look.
we're back though. That's it.
We're old and we don't know how to use technology. I think
You're right.
we just learned that in the last 45 minutes of our lives.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did.
So, Vic, tell them about the show. I know we got a lot of people who've never seen our show before. Tell them about the show.
Yeah, well, first of all, to make a long story short, like we said before, he's Keaton, I'm Vic. And pretty much this whole show came about of us just having um, just throughout our daily discussions, with me and Keaton, we used to talk about these topics that we felt and thought that the churches never or don't cover, the taboo subjects or whatnot. Then we pretty much had like this real bright ideal to make a show because we feel that there's not many platforms out there in the world for just us male, especially males in the African American community, to talk about such thing as dating versus courting, how to deal with date somebody you love that have AIDS, or dealing with having a child out of wedlock and this and that, just subjects that people are really scared to talk about even in church. So we thought that we will come with a show that will bless not just ourselves but many people out there, and of course we practice on being transparent. So with that being said, today's discussion topic is dating misconceptions.
Facing reality.
Yes, sir. Just due to a couple of months and weeks, me and Keaton really analyzed that there's a lot of misconceptions out there when it comes to dating. A lot of people have false um, expectations out there, unfortunately, and a lot of things have been perverted, and a lot of things have been quote unquote added in the Bible. And we're gonna get into that in a couple of minutes. So,
That's where the bar we are.
yeah, yeah, we are.
So before we get into the show topic, a lot's happened in the year that we haven't done this show. So give them an update. Where you been, man? What's been going on with you?
Forget about me. You're married.
Yeah. The last
You're married, man.
time we did this show, I wasn't even dating, and I've been married a month.
Listen here, man. If I could just tell people what you was going through during the last time I was shown, you have no choice but to say God is good.
Man, God is great, man, and
yes, He is.
And I'm fortunate to have a lovely wife, Cherie, and a son, Abram, who I just put to bed. Whether he's asleep or not, I don't know, but I put him to bed, and life is great, man. What's going on with you, Vic?
Nothing much, man. I've been blessed to do something that I love and that I'm talented in. That's coaching and teaching. Some days are stressful, but I'm blessed and fortunate to have a job so I can pay bills. And, of course, I'm bayed up as well. So we're back in the Bay Ministries.
Back in Bay Ministries.
Yes, the Bay watching.
Oh.
Yeah, you see what I did there? I ain't say that in a hot minute.
So basically, we said that not just to bragging on ourselves, but bragging my Lord, triply. Hey. But so we've kind of learned some things over the last year, and we found that a lot of what we thought going into dating was true really wasn't true.
Right.
So Vic, what's some misconceptions you had about dating?
One of the misconceptions I had about dating was I felt that when you went into that relationship, you had to make that relationship work. Like I was really sprung on the idea that there wasn't a such thing called failure. And looking back at time, and looking back at, my past relationships and looking at myself now, I see that there is a such thing as failed courtships, failed relationships, and I believe that is that's for a purpose, because throughout those relationships, you see who you are, you see who you're not, and God does a lot of molding and shaping, in those relationships, whether it's successful or whether it's a failure. There's a lot of things that God brought to myself and my eyes of some of my failed relationships, either for, okay, I need to, maybe be a little bit more spiritual, mature, or I might be a little bit selfish, or, I don't have my priorities in check like I'm supposed to, all down the line. So there's a lot of things that can, fit in that category, but that was one of my misconceptions of being in a failed relationship. That's very promising.
Yeah, for sure.
What about yourself?
Oh, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, you was cutting out real quick. What was the last thing you said?
No, I was directing that question back to you, but pretty much I was talking about the the purpose of dating and courting, for you to see if you're going to be compatible with that person, or if you want to marry that person, be with that person for the rest of your life.
Right. And kind of the other side of the coin that you were talking about, Vic, is, it's okay for a relationship to fail, but it's also okay for it not to be serious. And like every relationship you're in doesn't have to be serious. And I think there's this like overcast cloud over a lot of Christian single people, and they think that if they're dating somebody, the only option is marriage. Mm-hmm. And like you said, when that option doesn't happen, you have failure. And I think that's why people be taking Twitter and Facebook fast after a relationship that's so convenient.
Right.
I mean, but I understand, your feelings are hurt. You done told Twitter that the Lord done spoke a word into your heart that this is going to be your wife, this is going to be your husband, and all of a sudden they weren't who you thought they were. So somehow the prophecy didn't come true, when really and truly you just picked wrong.
Right.
And I said this on Twitter a couple of days ago, is that you don't have to be serious with every person that you're with. And I think it sets you up for emotional failure, because it's all this emotional buildup. Because in your mind and your heart, you tell yourself, this is going to marriage, whether it should go to marriage or not. And when it fails, emotionally, it becomes like a failed engagement, because that's what you made it. And I think it's killing people, and people are getting real like disenchanted and real salty about relationships and courting, because they broke their own heart.
Oh yeah, absolutely. A lot of people, unfortunately, is setting themselves up from failure, just due to the fact of that miscommunication with one another, of whoever it is. You have the females who, no due respect, who grew up since 1 year old, dreaming and picturing of a nice wedding. The next man they meet is going to be their last, and this and that. And the fella just he just want to, quote unquote, test the water. He just want to see, he just want to date. He don't want to use you. He don't want to have sex or anything. He just want to date. So what happened is that, those expectations failed. And now the person who wanted to get married, wanted to be booed up or in a relationship, they're discouraged. Mm-hmm. Now they don't want to date. And now they're talking about how single is for me. I'm going to be single for the rest of my life. God is bae. I don't need nobody else, and this and that.
He's so petty. Okay, so you brought up a good point, and that's one of the first misconceptions. Is it wrong for Christians to date without wanting to be serious?
Ooh, what? I ain't gonna lie. You put me in a spotlight. I'm not gonna say that it's wrong, but I wouldn't highly suggest it. I wouldn't. Just due to the fact. Well, I know for me, I can only speak for myself that I'm a type of person. I know what I want. So if I know what I want, I don't want anybody who will be of the opposite of that expectation.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, so that's why me personally, I try my best to make my intentions clear in whatever stage that I'm at, like in the early stage of dating or whatever, because if I just wanted somebody I can just talk to or whatever, that's why I have Facebook and Twitter. You can do all that stuff on there. But for me, I just know what I want.
Right.
And so for as, just dating just for the heck of it, dating without a purpose. That's what we call it. That's what the churchy folks on Twitter call it. Dating without a purpose. I suggest to date with a purpose, but if you do want to date with no purpose, it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
But
I mean,
it's okay.
a lot of people don't want to be single or alone, whatever way you want to say it, but don't really want to get married yet. And so to say I want to get married is dishonest. And like you said, they're not trying to like, get the draws or nothing. They're not trying to like have sex with you.
Right.
They just don't want to get married yet, but they want to see somebody. They don't really want to get serious, and I think that's okay. I think that's wise. And I wish more Christians would do it, but I think because certain people in certain ministries, as we'll call it, has painted this picture to people, specifically women, that he has to want to marry you within a certain time period, or he has to want to marry you. Or
it's a lot of pressure.
Unfair statement.
Yeah.
It's like you don't leave room for God to be God. And suppose you just talk to somebody not being serious and find out that there's somebody you can be serious with. But if you going at it, oh, we gotta be serious, you getting to know them off of pretense. You getting to know them off of a lie. You get to know them just from the fact that I want to get serious with you, so that's why I'm getting to know you. Not because I want to get to know you. I just want to get to know you so we can get to this point that's really about me.
Absolutely. I mean, I know plenty of people that's they're holy, they're men of God, women of God, and it's been like a long time since they've been in a relationship before, so they just want to hop back on the dating scene. They just want to get their groove back, and that's okay. You want to get your groove back because we all been in the desert. Because
Stella did it.
It's exactly, but that pretty much lead into one of my questions or statements that I had was being cautious of your expectations. That's one thing that I learned was somebody said they couldn't see me. My camera is off or something. Can you see me, Keegan?
I can see you.
Okay. Hopefully I'm on. I need Bay to see my face. But anyway. But anyways.
Humble ministry.
Yeah. Just being cautious of your expectations. I'm fully aware that before we get into a relationship with anyone, we always going to have these pre-expectations of people. Whether it's physically, emotionally, spiritually, but we all have expectations of certain people. But however, those expectations crumble down when there is lack of communication. I realize that there are certain things that I expect out of people that they was unaware about. Not saying that they could never do it, but God works on everybody, and that takes time. It takes seasoning. So being cautious of your expectations is very, very, very important because you don't want to generalize everybody due to some expectation you have from the previous ex or previous person, whoever you mingle with. You know what I'm saying? So I can't expect, my new chick to, go to church every Sunday versus, because of whatever. It just the fact that not all expectations are true.
Right.
I think God wants outside the box too. That's one thing I learned.
Yeah, absolutely. He works in ways you don't really expect, and I found that to be true too. When me and Cherie were dating, that I had such a high expectation. And I still do, honestly, too high expectation at time. And like what you don't really realize is really expectations are really self-serving. And what really winds up happening is you wind up crushing somebody under your expectation, and you just become this person that can never be pleased, and that's a hard place for the other person to be in. And if I could be real honest, now as a married man, you still have the expectation that you don't know you have. Actually, I tell people all the time. Literally, it probably was not even 30 days before I met Cherie. Me and my older sister had a conversation, and in that conversation, my sister, who you met, Kim, she said that you need to examine your own expectations, even expectations you may not like actively think you have, like
right,
taking out the trash or cleaning or washing dishes or whatever that might be. Like you'll find yourself getting tight because they're not meeting that expectation. But in reality, it's really about you never really voice that expectation, like you said before. And everybody builds up these expectations, and we just expect people to meet them, whether they're realistic or whether we communicate them or not.
Dang. Right. Somebody just texted me saying that my camera is off. I don't know if there's any way you can see.
Your camera's off?
Yeah, someone texted me saying that they can't see my face. They can just hear me. So I don't know if there's anything we can do with that. If not, then God bless. Just copy and paste my Twitter picture on the side and act like I'm just moving.
I don't know, but we're not finna start over again. That's for sure.
Heck no, man. Heck no, we can't. It's 10 o'clock. So we should be in there right now.
Maybe
no.
home in a minute.
Exactly. Too bad y'all just can't see my sexiness. But anyways, that leads up to my question is, what are we obligated to do while dating? I've seen it a billion times on Twitter how the ladies expect, pretty much, the vast majority, a lot of ladies expect a Jesus Junior. They expect,
they want Jesus Senior. They want somebody holy than Jesus. Let's just tell the truth.
Right, but you know what I mean. They expect the guy to to lead. They expect the guy to do the 90-day Bible challenge with them. They expect the guy to go to Bible study. They expect the guy to go to church, to join their ministry, to do everything that they're doing spiritually. My question to you is, are we obligated to do that if we're only just dating or courting?
No. Why? That's like if I'm just dating somebody, right? I meet this girl, whatever. We decide, she's Christian, whatever. She loves Jesus, trying to live for him, all that good stuff. And I'm not gonna, unless it's like really serious, really soon. I'm not gonna make those sorts of moves until either engagement or marriage, because there's no need to.
Right.
There's no need to. Like, if every once in a while he prayed with you or had a Bible study, I mean, that's cool. But, it's not like a requirement to be a good boyfriend or fiance.
Right. I ask that because, I understand that, in the future you can possibly see this guy leading you or being in this relationship. Don't get me wrong. We do want to see certain qualities or traits of people, in that, in the relationship stage. We would like to see somebody lead or see somebody be submissive so we can know what we're getting into before we get engaged.
Yeah, absolutely.
But when there's a difference from having to do it and being obligated versus Yeah, absolutely. And I've seen a lot of men get condemned social media because they, you know, they. I seen a lot of men um, get like condemned and put down because they quote unquote didn't lead or didn't do this and didn't do that.
But you know what the funny thing is, Vic? These are the same women. I ain't throwing shade, but I'm just saying what I see. These are the same women who talk about not doing wifely duties when you don't have a ring.
Shondo.
Well, you stupid.
I totally agree with you, but I'm just saying, like, like for instance, man, like I mean this from the bottom of my heart. Like I got condemned in one relationship because I didn't mention anything about Bible study or church or anything like that. For me, I was just like, I just wanted to get to know the person. I feel like all that stuff would have came along eventually, and this and that, because I'm a church going man, and I'm evolving stuff. So of course that stuff is going to come in the future, not too far, but it's going to come. And I got put down because I didn't mention nothing about how we should pray every night on the phone and doing this and that, and it became a conflict because she felt like I had to, like it was an obligation. And for me, I felt like, that's something that I didn't have to do. If I did it, then, I guess that's a bonus. But if I didn't, doesn't mean you're less of a man or less of a man of God.
Right.
So,
and let's just talk about that. Like, what should people be looking for in a potential mate? Like, funny thing, I'm actually starting, in my young adult ministry. We started a series this week on marriage and singleness, and that's what I get that question asked a lot. The first question you posed about submission and leading and all that, but a question I also get often is what should people even be looking for? What do you think, Vic?
That's a really good question, man. And to be quite honest, I mean, it's going to be very short because the Bible don't give us instruction guide how to date or what to do in the while we're dating or courting. Pretty much, honestly, the only thing that I can think of that it says that treat your sister with respect. Mm-hmm. it pretty much, I mean, for the most part, that's it. I think if you treat it, if you treat a lady like she's your mother, like an elder, like a sister, with respect and integrity, that's it.
Exactly.
Everything else is people is putting in the Bible for as you can't kiss before marriage. That don't. I read the book back and forth. I haven't seen that verse, and I'm waiting for it to drop. Because I haven't seen it before.
Shoot, man.
That's bro. That's what I was telling you earlier about some people adding stuff into the Bible verses as stuff God said you had to do, or this and that, for as courting or dating. But there's not an instructional guide in the Bible that tells us how to do this and that. So a lot of people have been confused and just. Unfortunately, just gone out of that area for as what God told them to do and what not to do in the marriage. Well, of course, that's something different. Your conviction is your conviction. That's totally fine. But don't tell people that God said something that he didn't say in the Bible.
Oh, you preaching?
I'm just saying, bro, we got to be real here.
Yeah, and in my experience now, being on the other side, the closer I got to getting married and the wedding date and now a couple weeks in, I realized one thing, Vic. I realized singles are way too picky, and I think most of these people who's tweeting about wanting babe, God send me a babe, blah 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 blah. Could have had one, they just picked over them. And because they're looking for all this extra stuff, and but it's just not there. You remember, we had Kevin on stage on our show about a year and a half ago, And he said it perfectly. You know, people when you're dating, you're looking for like someone who has like all the skill set, but they may not have it like solid down yet. You know, for instance, the Bucks drafted Jameis Winston, right? Is he 100% ready to be a Hall of Famer, Super Bowl winning quarterback? No, but he has all the intangibles they want out of their quarterback to get them where they want to go. And that's what you look for. You look for commitment to Christ. You look for commitment to the things they commit themselves to. Stand back and watch. Are they man or woman of their word? When they say they're gonna do something, do they do it? How do they treat their mom? How do they respect their dad? If they have kids, how do they treat their kids? How do they treat their siblings? You know, look at those things, the stuff you can actually observe and actually have a real answer to. And you know, are they a good person? You know, because there's a lot of Christian jerks.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of Christian buttholes out there. I'm sorry, but it is what it is.
But, you know,
but no, I meant for the people that put on a front and in the world, like they treat people like trash. Because I know a couple of those that's like that. I really do. And what I do now, like when I talk to people, when they want to know about a certain guy or a certain female, I tell them, ask their, like, you know, like go background research, ask their friends what type of person they are, you know, because that will tell you. It really would. I'm a true believer that, you know, character prevails, and, you know, character, you know, it don't lie about you. It says a lot about people. You know, I know we're at this, you know, stage where, you know, we could care less about our reputation or this and that, but honestly, that counts. That goes a long way. It really does.
We got a question posed to us. I don't know if this person wants their name, but we got a question posed to us. The question is, what's considered extra stuff that singles be looking for? Do you have an answer to that, Vic? And I'll give my opinion.
What is extra stuff that?
Yeah, like we made a comment earlier that singles are looking for too much. So what's some examples of some stuff that's just like ridiculous or maybe a little bit too much?
What might be too much is like, let's say like meeting family members of the opposite sex within a couple of weeks prior to dating. That might be too much. She's suggesting that y'all go to church every Sunday together. That's too much, because some people are tied up in other ministries and they're obligated to other stuff. So sometimes that can be a little bit too much, a little extra or whatnot. And that's my opinion. But Keith, before you go to your question, is there any way like you can click the box on your right tab and like click on me or anything like that, or there's still no hope?
I don't think so, because it's showing up in my box. So okay. I don't know why.
It's okay. But go ahead with your opinion though.
Well, what I was gonna say is, to me, some extra stuff is like wanting a finished product at the beginning. And part of dating a person, committing to date a person, committing to be engaged to a person, committing to being married to a person is being committed to the process of who they're going to be. That they're, you know, coming in the door, they're not who they are going to be, but you're committed to the process. And I think a lot of people walk in the door wanting a finished process product, whether that's financial, whether that's spiritual, whether that's relational, communication.
Financial, a big one, man. Oh man, you know, I can't tell you.
Expecting a college grad in most cases to be making 60, 70, 80, 90 plus a year.
Exactly. You still got to pay Sally Mae.
Some people, some do it. There's always exception to the rule, right? But in most cases, most people are gonna be struggling.
Right. Absolutely. Well, I just want to make it clear to the people that's watching, listening out there. If you're on Facebook or Twitter, go ahead and hashtag us at hashtag RTMT or at us at Real Talk Man Talk. Make sure you interact with us. If you have any questions or anything, we will get back with you. I promise you. Keaton, I'm about to get into something might be pretty deep. And the deep fried saints love this topic. Spiritual crossroads. What happens?
Now.
What happens when we meet someone and they have a like? What happens when two Christians meet? They like each other. Everything is banging, but they both have different doctrines. They both go to different denominations, and they both feel that one has to compromise.
Mm-hmm.
What is next? How do you control
that's
that?
a really good question. And I think I asked a couple people this. People who, in some areas, I agree doctrinally, in some areas, I don't agree doctrinally. And I think the consensus we came to is, what are the essentials? Do you believe Jesus is God? Do you believe that he died? Do you believe he resurrected? Do you believe that salvation is by grace through faith alone, no works included? Those sorts of things. And then there's some things, and I won't get into those secondary things. That's gonna start another show.
I feel like I know what you're talking about.
There's some secondary things. What'd you say, Vic?
I said I feel like I know what you're talking about.
I mean,
but
of course
I'm gonna let you be great.
But that's some secondary things that if somebody agree with those secondary things, that may pose an issue depending on the relationship. Right. So it really all depends. And I think you can't just say, oh, well, I'm Baptist, they're Kojic, so we can't go together. Or she's Reformed and he's Pentecostal, which is supposed to be really conflicting, right? We can't go together. Is there division in Christ? There's one Lord, one faith, one baptism. So you're better than that?
It's great that you share that, because sometimes we have our different beliefs on certain things. Like, for instance, two might not like that one goes to church on Saturday, the one goes on Sunday, and so I just came across that issue, Keaton, because I feel like it is something that get overlooked. And like I said, expectations. Sometimes we forget that there's other people out there that have different beliefs, different doctrines, and just have different opinions, about the Bible. And it's important to not be unequally yoked, or however you want to define that, but you want to make sure that you and that person are somewhat on the same grounds, or have a mutual understanding of each other's views, because it can be very compromising. It really can be. And then you have to draw the line as for what is too much, or what is definitely like, no, I won't date you because I would never do that. I would never believe in that. I would never go to this church, or never hear this and that. So it can be a very, very, very tiring process if you don't, if you don't even know your belief as well.
And also something important, kids, right? Yeah. If you're dating for marriage produces kids, both cases. So you have to think, what do you want your kids raised in? Most people want their kids raised however they were raised, generally. So then you have a conflict of how to raise a kid. And I think that's something you got to consider as well.
Right. And unfortunately, I come across a lot of females, just even in my personal life, but definitely on social media, that they're not knowledgeable of that man of God versus a man who goes to church. And that's one of the reasons too, sometimes how a lot of females are let down, because they're looking for that man of God who, a man who served God not by his just words, but by his heart through his actions or whatnot. And then they get let down when they find out that this man that he just goes to church on Sunday, he's very ritual. He's addicted to porn, and he might sell some drugs on the side, or doing this or doing that.
You cutting out.
Can you hear me? How about now?
Yeah.
Okay. Sometimes
your Wi-Fi it may not be saved.
I think I have a lot of devices hooked up to it, and sometimes I might get hooked onto my beard. So you know how it is, beard ministries. But can you hear me now? Am I clear now? Am I good?
I don't know if. All right.
How about now?
So nobody heard anything he said because you kept. Yeah. Did that.
Okay. What about now? Am I okay?
Okay, that's better.
Okay, I'll turn some things off. No, pretty much I was saying about females some females are not knowledgeable of a man of God versus a man who goes to church.
Mm-hmm.
There is a big difference between the both. One is a man who served God with his heart. The other one is just pretty much just ritual. He just goes to church.
Mm-hmm.
He believes that, he paid his 10%. He go be okay. He could do anything and everything that he want. And unfortunately, sometimes females is let down by that. And that can be very discouraging too. I already heard it of how females already think that there's not enough men on the earth, and the little man that's out there, he's unsaved or whatever, or he's that guy that just goes to church or whatever. But females, ladies, don't be discouraged. We're out there. I mean, like I say, a lot of us hiding. I will say that y'all hiding though. Y'all gotta step up, man. Y'all want to go and get it. That's what Jesus said. Y'all gotta, y'all gotta go out there and get it. But don't be discouraged, ladies. There are real men of God out there. Keaton, I have a question for you, also my audience. How do you identify a person who's spiritually immature or spiritually weak? I feel that sometimes we can use that word a little bit loosely, but not actually have a definition of that word, or sometimes say it out of context, if that makes sense.
So I just want to understand the question. The question is how can you really know if somebody's spiritually immature?
Yes, or spiritually weak-minded. Yes.
Well, the best answer I can come up with is that the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, meekness, patience, temperance, faith. And someone who's really maturing will have evidence of growth in all of those areas.
Mm-hmm.
Someone who's really growing will have, some change over time, and you'll be able to see it, and it'll be obvious. It may be small, but it'll be obvious. Mm-hmm. And I think people make themselves the standard, unfortunately, and I've done it too. I do it too. People make themselves the standard, and so then it becomes, I'm comparing my righteousness to where you are and where I think you should be, rather than realizing I'm probably further behind than you are, but I'm just too prideful to admit it.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I think in terms of spiritual maturity, that becomes a major test in a relationship, and it really makes the person who may be in a more spiritually mature position be more spiritually mature, because there's going to be some things that the spiritually immature person does out of immaturity, and you gotta forbear and forgive, and that's not easy.
Absolutely not. I totally agree, my brother. What was go ahead.
Not to backtrack too far, but somebody asked the question. I don't want to go past the question. They asked, we were talking about dating and requirements and all that stuff.
Right.
So they asked the question about dating somebody's potential. You know, you hear a lot of people tweet and Facebook and blog, don't date somebody's potential. What do you think about that?
Oh, don't date somebody's potential. Oh man. I know sometimes it sounds cliche. I've seen it 1,000 times. Um, sometimes I see it and I scroll. I'm like, yeah, blah 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 blah. Sometimes I see it and I think and I'm like, yeah, that really can be true. Um, because it's for the most part. Um, I think that it's important to not date somebody's potential because you don't know if that person's going to reach that potential. You don't know. You really don't know. Yes, God works, mysterious in people and all this and that. That's great, but I can't. It, it's very dangerous to do that. I can't date somebody because I feel like I know you're going to be a great person, even though you're horrible and bad now. I know that you're going to be a great person. And over time, you don't see no type of evidence of that person turning out to be great or their potential to be whatever it is that you want them to be. That's very discouraging. It's very discouraging. It's pretty much like dating a lie because you don't know. You don't know.
So let me get the other side of the coin, Vic.
Okay.
So I get the whole point that, don't date somebody's potential because, they may never live up to their potential. And that's true. I think there's a place where, oh Lord. Okay. Anyways, so there's a place where you may not ever get, like you said, what that person can be or even should be, right? But I think there's a fine line. There's the other side to that. And the other side is, to a degree, you only ever date their potential. And I think there's a balance, and I think that comes from discernment from God and community about how to determine which is which. And I don't think that's necessarily a decision you can make by yourself. I don't think it's a decision you can make by yourself.
Right.
Because part of why I married Cherie is because what I believed she could be, right? I believe she could be a good wife. She's a great wife to this point, but I mean, we've only been married a month. That really has yet to be foreseen. Part of why she married me because she believed I could be a good husband.
Right.
I've been married a little over a month now, so that has yet to be foreseen if I'm really going to be a good husband or not. So it's just potential. I have the potential to be a good husband. She has potential to be a great wife, but at the end of the day, it's just potential. And until you let time progress and you see potential realized, that's really only time you know what you got.
Right. I feel your statement on that. I do. That's why I was kind of like, kind of iffy, wishy-washy on my answer. But I agree with that. I do. The same reason why, I'm dating, my boo, because I feel that one day she's, I felt like she was going to make a great girlfriend. She's going to be a great wife and a great, mother and grandmother and this and that. So I totally I respect that, man. I like that.
So what other misconception you think? What's popular out there? What do you think the biggest misconception that you see, whether through your friends or social media? What do you think the biggest misconception is that you see? What's the biggest one?
Besides some people still thinking that, because the opposite sex is a Christian, that you automatically have to pursue them. No, but we do get it from time to time. Whereas I think I know your opinion on this a little bit, but how some guys feel that they don't have to pursue, and how some ladies feel that they don't have to feel pursued, or they don't have to, I ain't gonna say throw themselves out there, but pretty much they feel like they don't have to, like they have to be hidden. because the Bible, quote unquote, says that a lady should be discovered and found and well kept and this and that. But one of the misconceptions is that not that the man have to leave, but go ahead, Key. I see you laughing. You must got a good question.
No, somebody just in our if just search the RTMT hashtag and you'll see all the different comments people are making.
Yeah, I haven't been looking, man.
So the people are making some pretty good comments.
Okay, go ahead, feed them to us.
Talking about. But one thing I know we said we are going to talk about is pace. I think that may be the biggest one.
Oh yeah. Absolutely, because because I think of social media, we see this trend of couples meeting on Tuesday, then they get married on Wednesday. Mm-hmm. It's fast, but of course it varies, and I'm not discouraging anybody out there. I'm not throwing rocks at anybody out there. God, like I said, God moves in different ways. Just like a home girl. Stephanie, she got, she met.
Shout out to Stephen Ryan.
Stephen Ryan, like, she met him on a Monday. They got married on a Tuesday.
On a Tuesday.
I want to be so ratchet right now. I won't though. No, but there is, there is a trend of, relationships ending up into marriage. But for the most part, people feel like they have to take everything fast when you actually don't have to.
So it's funny, and actually, I wish we actually had Steph on for this portion.
Yeah.
Because me and Steph talk a lot. I don't know if y'all have had similar conversations or whatever, but we agreed that the way we went is not the way to go. She got married like 5 months, 6 months.
Yeah.
From time of meeting him.
Yes.
And how they met, that's another show. But
that's another
from time of meeting him to I do was like legit like 5 months. I remember her telling me in the summer of 2012, oh, there's this guy, and then like September they're married. That's legit how it happened. Am I right, Vic? Because you was
bro. I remember them asking me, "Can I go to the courthouse with them?" Bro, that's quick.
I'm not that far off. Like I started talking to Sheree March 2014. We got married March 28th of this year. That's a year and a couple weeks. Like basically just call it a year. Like, and we were actually planning our wedding since May of last year. Before an engagement, before I bought a ring, before I looked at the rings, we had actually reserved our reception. Now that's faith / maybe some stupidity.
Y'all Negroes were trying to break a record, man.
But that's the way it worked for us.
Right.
But you in your situation may not work that way. Mm-hmm. Joe Schmo and Sue may not work. They may need 3-4 years to get things figured out. And I don't think you're less Christian for taking more time, or you're more Christian for taking less time.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Like, my last relationship taught me a lot. I realized that, it's best to be slow, to be steadfast. Mm-hmm. In all honesty, because you know how it is when you make that connection with that person. You're on like that euphoric stage where that person loves you, you love them back, and you pee rainbows and gumdrops and all this and that, and you want to do everything, and before you know, everything is rolling and kicking so fast. And sometimes that can really go down the drain because, unfortunately, that stuff leads to breakup. And when you break up, you realize that, you never really knew this person because you did everything so fast that, you didn't go through that stage of, getting to meet them as a friend and just being slow and whatnot. And one of the things that I appreciate about my current relationship right now with Khadijah is that
name dropping,
dude. You're so petty, dude. Are you serious?
I was waiting for
dude, you're so petty.
Is he gonna keep talking around it, or is he gonna man up?
Are you serious right now? Unbelievable, man. Come on, dude. Give me a break, man.
Oh, yeah, I'm petty.
Yeah.
Yep. No, I'm just petty. Yep.
Unbelievable.
Yep.
Anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. You showing off right now, man. Anyways, to be back on topic, one of the things that I appreciate about my relationship with Khadijah is that we both been able to take things very slow.
Mm-hmm.
I said prior, the best thing about like God is that He really knows our heart and He'll give us what our heart desires.
Mm-hmm.
And I know, like breaking up from my last relationship, I told him that my next relationship, I want to take things slow. I really want to know this person as a friend, like as a true friend. And with that being said, is that, I really, really, really consider her as my best friend. Like, even if we, God forbid, we broke up, like tonight, I still would be like, okay, yeah, like that was my best friend. Like, that was my friend, like my very best friend. And the reason why we was able to get to that stage because we took things slow. We did a lot of communicating, killed our flesh a lot of times, but good things come to those that wait, and be patient.
Absolutely.
This, and looking back at it now, and especially, just talking to the singles, like take your time, enjoy that singleness. And I know so many people always talking about, how they love the Lord, but he tired of being single. But what does, what did I think Paul said about being single?
He basically said, hey, if you free, why are you trying to get locked up? And marriage is great. Marriage is beautiful, but marriage is commitment. Yeah, I don't want to talk about it negatively like it's bondage. It's not bondage, but in a sense, I'm tied to a wife. My decisions are tied to my family. I don't make just Keaton decisions anymore.
Right.
I make decisions, and there is no Keaton decision. It's an us decision. Everything's an us decision.
A lot of dying to yourself.
Man, look.
I can only imagine, bro.
There's more than you can ever even comprehend.
Right.
And, singleness is really great. Singleness in some sense is greater than marriage because there's such a great availability to do things for Christ. We said on this show that when we get in relationships, we won't be able to do the show like we used to. Case in point, it's been a year since we done the show.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So there's a commitment. I'm running around trying to get the baby off the bed, because I have a higher commitment than Real Talk Man Talk. 2013, Real Talk Man Talk was my life.
Right.
And then that's all I did on Friday nights. And then, Wawa Coffee, shout out to Wawa.
Hey, oh man, those 59-cent coffee ministries. My God.
Oh boy. Yeah, boy. Man. But it's really a great thing, though. But can I say something else though, Vic? Like,
yes, sir.
For people who are in relationships or married out there, stop giving single people advice they can't use about being single. I mean, right. It's good. It's the godly. I guess you could say even the biblical thing to say, wait on the Lord and. Lord.
Man,
that's not that. All that's gonna leave somebody is like, what does that even mean? And if you got a person like burning, their flesh burning, and they just horny as all get out, or you got a person super lonely, wait on the Lord in that moment does nothing for them. That's like telling the hungry person, I'll pray for you, be fed. What? when they starving. Like, you're not doing nothing for them. And I think a better piece of advice is, yes, wait on the Lord, but if you're lonely, seek community. Seek God to have community. God Absolutely. Says that he puts the lonely in families. So if you're lonely, God promised to put you in a community to solve your loneliness. And that community can be marriage, but that community may be something better for right. you at that time. And if you're struggling with your flesh, it's a greater opportunity to learn to trust God, to have community with brothers and sisters who are struggling in the same way. Piece of advice: you don't communicate with single people of opposite sex about that stuff too much, because that's just not wise. But aside from that, like, gotta stop giving people advice they can't use.
Right, absolutely. Hey man, it's some people saying some good stuff in our using our hashtag. One follower said, biggest misconception. I think we talked about this. Your future bae has to be the one to lead you to Christ. Now it's the difference, for us, studying Christ with somebody, taking you to church, but for as leading you to Christ, yeah, that might be God's job, Jesus' job, because we can only do so much. We're not the Holy Spirit. I know you looking for that, King James in us, but we're not God. We have flesh too. We fall too.
I mean, I know you love God, but
I know I love God, but
what's wrong with you? You don't love God?
Horrible, man. Horrible.
Oh, so ratchet.
Also, one follower have said that if you're interested in a guy, are you supposed to wait for him to peep or question mark? So pretty much like the female, the female's asking if she's interested in a guy, what do she do? Do she hop out of the bush to be seen, or do she stay behind the bush and wait to be discovered?
Okay. I'm trying to make up something that's not overly ratchet. But here, basically this.
Go ahead, kill your flesh, bro. That's hard to do, I know.
If you're hungry, are you just gonna wait for somebody to bring you some food? Or are you going to go get the food? If you're thirsty, do you go get a cup of water, or you just wait to not feel thirsty anymore? The point is this. God can do whatever God wants to do when God wants to do it, because God is God. But you saying, hey, my name is Jackie, or my name is, I don't know many Jackies anymore. My name is whatever, Broomquisha. And
I bet you she's from Tampa, if that's her real name.
Oh, I love Tampanians. My wife's a Tampanian. Anyways, so, but there's nothing wrong with being like, hey, blah 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 blah. Do you want to do coffee, or you want to go get a smoothie, or whatever, or maybe not even something so crazy. Right. If you go to the same church or something, or in the same Bible study group or something, hey, what you think about what you call it? We should talk about the Bible studies or whatever together.
Bible study live, BSL. But I really
know people who've gotten married out of there. So there's
exactly that's what I'm saying. But I don't think it make a woman look less appealing or less submissive or disobedient because they decide to make themselves known.
Right.
That's the difference from making yourself known versus throwing yourself out there.
Yeah, we ain't saying show some
thought. We ain't saying throw some thoughtful tendencies. We ain't saying nothing about that.
No, we ain't saying that, but all we saying is it's okay to speak. It's okay to show intent. You're not less of a godly woman.
Right. Absolutely. So thanks for that question, though, because I think a lot of ladies needed to hear that. I think that was confirmation to somebody out there.
Yeah, man. So what do you think? However long you've been dating Khadijah.
Come on, dude. You didn't have to pause like that, man. Come on, man. Yeah.
What do you think you've learned the most from dating?
To learn the most from dating is that people, to be honest, it's going to be so simple, is that people are not perfect and I'm a broken person.
Mm-hmm.
Like, like the same way, I pray for her. I I pray for myself the same way she need Christ. I need Christ just as much. Is that honestly because it takes so much. Like when you're in a committed relationship, like dating, like I guess Christian dating or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It takes so much of killing the flesh
Mm-hmm.
that you realize, like, I need a lot of help. I need a lot of strength. And that can only come from God. Like, I depend on God so much. Like, I really do. And I realize that there's a lot of situations and issues that I can't control. It's only God. Only God can.
Mm-hmm.
Only God can. And God can do whatever He want to do. Honestly, that's one thing I can tell you of what I learned about dating or my journey of singleness, that God does whatever He want to do. And the reason why I said that is because, prior to meeting Khadijah, I was in a very, 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 very broken stage in my life. Throughout singleness, I really didn't know what to do. I felt like, I wasn't really worth, you know, dating anyone else. I felt like, it's gonna take me so long to find out, another female, because you know how it is when you break up with somebody. It's kind of draining and frustrating to know that you have to start that whole process over again of meeting somebody. So God was able to put me in a stage where I couldn't depend on nobody but Him. And the end result of that was, I was able to find a very, very, very special friend, and that developed into a relationship. I'm totally, totally grateful, and I'm blessed. I really can't. I really don't have any words to express of how happy I am and how much joy she brings to me. Look at you blushing over there, dude.
That's great. You about to do it, Denzel. All for that one tear to come down. That's why I was looking.
You crazy. Yeah, but how about yourself, man? I know there's some people out there that's they know that you're married and you're newlywed. If there's any tips or anything that you can give to those newlyweds out there, or people who's thinking about marriage or who's married right now, about that, is there anything that you can share? Any words of wisdom?
To quote a wise poet from Chicago,
Oh gosh.
you don't have the answer, Sway.
So you said from Chicago. I'm like, that's not from the Bible, because no one in the Bible is from Chicago.
No, seriously, like, you don't have all the answers. And there's going to be a lot of things you're just going to have questions about, and you're just going to have them, and they're just going to stay questions.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't have the answers. And one thing I learned really quick, even before I got married, and I'm learning it even more, is that pride doesn't work. Mm-hmm. And you can't be proud and have a healthy relationship, because some point you got to swallow your pride. Even when you're right and you've been wronged, you have to swallow your pride for the health of the relationship. And that's probably the biggest thing I think I've learned personally, is that pride doesn't work.
Right.
It doesn't work. It just doesn't. It doesn't work.
I learned that too in my relationship. Like, even there's things that I'm right, I'm gonna let you feel special. I'm gonna let you be great. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna let you be great. Mm-hmm. Totally understand.
Learn the master of the yeah, baby.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're
right about that.
A poet once said you was right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, Vic, it's that time.
Unfortunately, it is, my folks. It's definitely been a great reunion. It's been a great reunion.
Yeah, man. Shoot, Real Talk Man Talk reunion tour.
Yeah, man. Definitely been a pleasure. Unfortunately, we're not going to be broadcasting every week because we got lives now. We're busy now. But, just continue to shoot us ideas, topics, or anything. You guys can hashtag us RTMT or add us at Real Talk Man Talk. Anything you like, anything, any feedback, just email us at realtalkmantalk@gmail.com. We'll love to just hear from you. You want to be a co-host in the future, hit us up, and you can, go through our little committee board.
Yeah, I don't know when we're going to do this again just because our lives are very busy, but, maybe this can be like a once a month thing. We got to talk about it some more. Maybe we can commit to, once a month, may not be a Friday and it may not be live, but maybe we can commit to once a month.
It might be a Tuesday.
On a Tuesday, RTMT going up.
You petty, man.
Oh, but we need to get off because our flesh is starting to show.
Yeah, it is.
It's Fleshly Friday, Vic.
It is. Yes, it is.
It's Fleshly Friday. Well, it's been great. If you have any questions or comments about the show, you can add us at Real Talk Man Talk on Twitter. You can email us realtalkmantalk@gmail.com or tweet us #RTMT. We love more feedback on this subject. Comment below. We keep the discussion going. Talk about some stuff we didn't talk about or some stuff you think we was completely wrong about. We want to hear that too. But as we always say, no shade, mail.
No shade, mail. No shade, please.
That's why I had to close down my shade forum for a while because it was nothing but RTMT shade for a while.
For a long time.
But oh well. Anyways, like the wise poet said, look at me now. Anyways, you got any closing? What's your closing remarks, Vic?
Pretty much, not that much. My closing remarks is, to the single people out there, don't be discouraged. Really don't be discouraged. If you really feel that you're single, find like my bro said, find a community out there. Try to be activate. Try to be like hook up with a community. Hook up with your church friends or some of your girlfriends, or if you're a guy, hook up with your homeboys. But be active. Do something. Don't just be home, sit in the room all day and pondering and crying about how you're single. Shoot, do some ministry work. Do something. Get a job. Do something. Cut the yard. Shoot, paint your nails. Do something. But don't be active. Be active. And those who's that's in a relationship right now, just take it slow. But I ain't gonna say take it slow. You do whatever you feel that God is calling you to do. If that's kind of speed things up, speed it up. To back things down, go ahead and slow it down. But definitely just continue to just have trust in the Lord that that He will not fail. If you in a relationship and you break up tomorrow, it's not the end of the world. I promise you, it's really not. Just continue to have faith in Christ alone. I said my part, Keaton. It's your go.
Oh, there's nothing else to say. You said it all. There's hope. There's hope for the single, man. It's not. It's not over.
No, it's not. No, it's not. It's not.
Well,
it's been man. It's been a pleasure, man. I appreciate y'all interacting with us. I really do. Tell your friends to add us on Twitter. We'll try our best to just get that page back and popping. They have questions. Just have you guys engage or whatnot. I really, really, really believe that Real Talk Mentor has been a blessing to folks. And it's just by the grace of God. I'm not going to be cliche or churchy to even call this, a ministry or anything. I'm not really big on titles. I'm just trying to, just help people out there at the end of the day.
Yeah.
If I can do that through this, it is what it is.
Like we said earlier, the show came from us talking in the car.
Yep. That's all it is.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
But it's time to hit that old dusty trail.
Yeah. Y'all take it easy. Have a blessed night.
All right. Peace.